Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame and Museum, Waterloo, Iowa. First room we come into is the TV room. They will sometimes show stuff on here, especially during special events, maybe something special. Otherwise, they have posters up on the side. Posters on that side as well. Alias the Champ, there's a classic. The Wrestler, Vern Gagne. Night in the City. I don't know if it's shining through the glass. Good first place to start. Got a little bit of amateur wrestling right here. Wall to Dan Gable in this part of the country. He is probably the most important man there is. This is Dan Gable, the coach. Here we are in the library. Great, great library. Even with my library, I'm envious of this one. A lot of amateur stuff. I'm not quite as much. I respect that, but I'm not as much into that. Some biographies. There you see Briscoes. Jack Briscoe, a couple different volumes there. Nikita. Of course, they're going to have Dan Gable here too, and then some. I don't know why there's a Tom Cruise in here. I don't know what he has to do with wrestling, but someone probably donated it. Frank Gotch. Got a trophy case here. Probably once again tough to see with glare. Now in the history department, just putting any kind of wrestling from sumo, amateur, a little bit of everything. Technique, not really my thing too, because you're mostly talking amateur here, but massive library of that. Here's a section you guys will appreciate, the professional wrestling section. Great books, Classy Freddie Blassie's book, that's a good one. Wyoming's Wrestling Rancher. Clarence Euclid, I have that one, read it, very good. A couple of these are on my list. I really want that Johnny Rougeau book. It's actually written in French, so unless you just want a book about Johnny Rougeau or you can read French, it's not really probably that exciting, but I like Johnny Rougeau. The Rougeau family fascinates me. We interviewed Greg Oliver earlier. AWA record books with George Shire, hoping to interview him at some point. Another Greg Oliver book, we've interviewed him. Hey, there's Pat LaPrade. We've interviewed him. This is one of my favorite books there is, Complete Book of Wrestling. Great pictures. I had that book when I was like 12 years old, and very good. Some other good stuff. This looks like a really cool thing. It's Dig Boston. It looks like Bruno Sammartino's on it. We have a actually, it's a fairly new thing. It's from July of 16. So I thought it was going to be old. It's from July of 2016. So must have been a remake, and they honoring him. These are kind of here's Royal Duncan Gary. Well, one of the toughest books to find, but very good. You have other things I like. I like these things like the city pages and stuff. Then they have a whole bunch of magazines down there. The Whatever Happened to series, always good. Here's Lou Thesz's record book. Ed Strangler looks like he's got a record book in there. Yeah, more magazines. Olympic Games over here. And you can sit and read when you're at the museum. They have some nice couches back there, or the table. Coming out into the hallway. This is the George Tragos Lou Thesz wing of the Hall of Fame. These are past Lou Thesz Award winners, presented this on Hall of Fame weekend. The most recent seems to be James J. Dillon. Megan P.A. will be in a couple days, so he will be the most recent. Then James J. Dillon won it last year. B. Brian Blair 2 years ago. You have Adam Copeland winning it. Jim Ross, JBL, Bill Hurston. William Murdoch was here this week. He's one who wrote the Briscoe books. Rene Goulet also there. We got some more. We won't show too much of that, so respect the copyright of whatever wrestling that is. But these are kind of cool. There you have an old Lou Thesz poster. Hey, there's a nice one too for fans of Bob Geigel. Another Lou Thesz, Bruno Sammartino versus Gorilla Monsoon. All sorts of these wonderful posters. So this is the kind of stuff you can expect at the museum. And they change the exhibits. They have more stuff. They have Killer Bees. I believe they're both here, or at least both going to be here this weekend. So get a little ode to them. Kurt Angle, your general manager. I know the glare is going to be bad on that one. That's a pretty cool poster right there. Some more stuff down here. And now you get into some of the more memorabilia type. You got the Nebraska Tiger Man, Mr. Wrestling. You got a $1 million belt of some kind. A Destroyer mask. Gene Kiniski jacket. That's a Danny Hodge jacket there. You have another Danny Hodge thing there. This is John Cena spinner belt. He signed it with help of Charlie Thesz and Gerald Briscoe. They got it to the museum. That's awesome. Death Mask of the French Angel. Mr. Perfect's got a little thing. Larry Hennig comes up here a lot, I know. There's an old AWA Tag Team Championship belt. I would assume that's original. Look how worn that is, too. That's pretty cool. I'm assuming that's Larry Hennig jacket. Mad Dog Vachon. I guess that's Dr. Death Steve Williams. And there's a Lou Thesz. Now here's the awards wall. Actually, this is for the people who are in the class. So you can look this up online, so I'm not going to go through all of them. I'll kind of scan it just so you can see it. You can look these up on their homepage if you want to see the individuals. We'll see if there's any that stand out. We, of course, have, well, the year we talked to Greg Oliver about, that was 2008. Bret Hart was actually there, pretty sure, inducting Stu Hart that year. Roddy Piper was also there, or could have been. We go all the way back to 1999. Here's some more older stuff. You have an NWA World Championship plaque from Dick Hutton. Won this in Japan. These are the old heavyweight champions. Tim Woods and Jack Briscoe. Great Sandow. These are one of Roddy Piper's kilt. Roddy Piper, always one of my favorites. Frank Gotch poster. Let's see if we can get back. Frank Gotch's Mason sword. Here's the Frank Gotch Award. Most recent, this year's going to be Stan Hansen. Last year was Lex Luger. Beth Phoenix the year before that. A lot of notables. Jesse Ventura 2003 won the award. And there's some boots here. Those are Bob Roop's boots. Got some more stuff. Here's some of the more, maybe I'll call them toys. A lot of these things are familiar. Hey, I have that game. It's a pretty cool Vern Gagne game. I mean, some of them are just basic toys. You have the Harley Race trading card. 1987 Topps. Jesse Ventura bobblehead. You have the new stuff. You got some mugs there. You got some Lou Thesz championship glasses. I actually have 10 of those in my collection. Very happy with that. Hasbro. This is the Mat of Honor where they get all the stars to sign every year when they come in. I think you can go to their YouTube page and see that. And here's some artwork by Rob Schomburger and Magnum TA. Stan Hansen, yes, definitely. Here's some Tragos medals. And you have another, yeah, they don't waste any space in here. So we'll continue with the virtual tour of the museum. You guys, these must be Schomburger. Yep, actually, we're gonna see that shortly. Some walls of Schomburger paintings. Dave Schultz, this is not Dr. Death Dave Schultz, it's a different, I believe, an amateur wrestler. They have they collect amateur wrestling jerseys. And that's pretty much what you're getting here, so I'll just, if you want to go through here, that's what you're getting. history of sports cards. Very interesting, all the way back to the Parkhurst and some of the newer ones. Now we're in another television type room. A lot of just pictures on the board. They have a TV playing. We're not gonna, and we're gonna watch this because there's some music playing that might be not acceptable. It's from the AWA DVD. But here we have a lot of pictures. Oh, it's changing the things. These are some new things, but they like the history of wrestling around here. They give us some displays on that. Then we have this middle section here. That history of the Olympics. The whole middle section is pretty much reserved for the Olympics at this point.
What time do you want to go at?
If you come out the front, you have the gift shop. Sorry.
I just asked Brenda if you guys want to walk around, shut everything off.
And this is the gift shop. Stop here on your way out and pick up all your favorite wrestling memorabilia. That's the tour of the
Our stuff starts shutting off.
Thesz George Tragos Wrestling Hall of Fame Museum, Waterloo, Iowa. Best place to visit in the entire world. You guys should come here.